It's Shack Together. Thanks for being here. Today we have Donovan Erskine making his sophomoric appearance on Shack Together. What a delight. He offers his review of Stellar Blade, the Sony exclusive action Souls-like that we've all been waiting for. Asif gives us a little tour through his latest jaunt in Tears of the Kingdom, nearly a year old. How about that? We then test Asif and Donovan's knowledge of games that include the word blade in their title. How many do you know? Finally, we head over to Storytime, where we cover quite a few stories today, including the split up of Embracer Group, FTC's non-compete clause ban, Fallout 4's newfound popularity thanks to the Amazon Prime show, 4 JRPG reviews over at shacknews.com. We touch on those before wrapping things up with some Apple, Tesla, and Facebook news. All this and more on today's show. Thanks for listening. Enjoy.
So it's draft day, Donovan.
It is.
You know what that means, right?
Kind of, maybe.
It means I watched Draft Day last night.
Oh, you love that movie.
Do I love it, or do I watch it because it just feels like an obligation of a Cleveland fan almost?
That's also fair. I just think you've referenced that movie more than anyone I know. That movie and Moneyball are like your go-tos.
I mean, I love Moneyball. That's a movie I actually like. Even though it has a cameo from Bobby Kotick, the former CEO of Activision Blizzard. I don't like that part. Yeah, he plays the owner of the Oakland A's in the movie, Joe. So I found a problematic cameo in Draft Day last night, Donovan.
Oh, God.
Bo Callahan's agent. Do you know who Bo Callahan's agent is in the film?
No, I don't.
Sean Combs.
Oh, God. That's really bad. Yeah, that's up there with the worst of them.
So that's a problem now in the movie that I didn't, I haven't watched the movie since the revelations about Mr. Combs have come out and the FBI raid of his multiple homes. So that's one problem I have with the film, obviously. Then there's these other inaccuracies. For instance, there's this coach that the GM fired, right? He fired his dad. And they talk about how he was this long tenured Cleveland Browns coach. Donovan, you've been around for the last 20-some years.
Sure.
Is there a such thing as a long-tenured Cleveland Browns coach?
Not since I've been watching football, no.
That's what I'm saying. I guess Stefanski's
around with that, right?
Yeah, Stefanski's probably, the current coach has probably been around the longest. But, we're talking about, it's probably been 20 coaches in the last however many years. So that seems inaccurate. And then this other thing really bothered me last night. So the owner of the Browns in the film, he flies from Cleveland to New York for the draft, right? So he's there for the first pick. Yeah. And I'm spoiling this movie for people.
Oh no.
They don't take the guy that everyone thinks they're going to take. So the owner gets very mad and flies back to Cleveland during the draft. So I was doing the math, Donovan. I don't know, how much do they get per pick? It's 10 minutes or 20 minutes, right?
I think it's 10 minutes. First round, so it gets the time lessons, I think, as the rounds go on.
So if it's 10 minutes, how is it possible that the fictional owner of the Cleveland Browns flew from New York City claiming it was Teterboro, which I don't know if you know where Teterboro is. He flew from Teterboro to Cleveland in 5 draft picks. How is that possible?
Let's see.
That's probably a close call, but I bet once you factor in commercial breaks and all the fanfare that the NFL does for those first draft picks, you might be able to work that out. But
I don't know, man.
Magic.
Joe, what about getting through, security, etc., taxi, getting to the,
private.
Airport.
This guy's clearly flying private, Joe. So I think a lot of that's when you fly private, you don't run into that.
Sure.
But still, how, because I'm not talking about airport to airport, No. He goes from the draft, I think it was still at Rockefeller Center or wherever they held it. He goes from there to the Cleveland Browns facility in 55 minutes. It just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah. Yeah. We did Newark to get off wherever and that was 45 minutes. But again, it's just there's all the
You had to get to
tertiary
Newark.
time. Yeah,
You had to get to Newark. This guy has to get to Teterboro, and then he has to get from the airport to, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, when you land in Canton, you're 5 minutes from my house. But like, I don't know where he landed either. Anyway, so that's the second thing that really bothers me about that movie. Here's the third thing, though, Donovan. I think you'll probably relate. Arian Foster. Do you remember Arian Foster?
I remember Arian Foster.
Running back for the Houston Texans, I think other teams at some point. Notable vegan football player, even. Wow. He plays a character in the movie who really wants to get drafted to the Browns. There's no such. Come on. Is there anyone who's like dying to get drafted to the Browns? And also, they refer to him as Cleveland royalty because his dad played for the Browns. Come on. Is there anyone that has generational pride about being a Cleveland Brown? No.
You gotta just suspend disbelief sometimes. They're definitely pushing the limits of reality in this one.
You're listening to Shack Together, a Shack News video game podcast where we not only talk games, but play them. I'm your host, Asif Khan, and I'm not joined by my co-host, John Benjamin. I am joined today by our producer, Joe Stasio.
Hello.
And news editor, Donovan Erskine.
What's up?
Oh, welcome back to Shack Together, Donovan. I think you're our first two-time guest.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yes. Confirmed.
Nice.
So yeah, this is a momentous occasion.
Donovan, do you know which episode you appeared on by number?
Was it, I think it was 3 or 4. Was it 3?
I'm so sorry. If this were an official game, you'd have lost. Was
it 4?
It was 4. Okay.
Was it 4?
Yep.
Yeah. How about that? Time flies when you're recording a Shack News Extended Podcast Universe podcast, or the CPU as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So yeah, most importantly, Donovan, when we get people on the show, we want to talk about what they've been playing. And in your case, what have you been reviewing lately? So yeah, What have you been playing?
Mostly Stellar Blade. Just got the review out the door for that about 24 hours ago in the time we're recording this. That's been most of my time. And then outside of that, I've just been on a nostalgia trip playing old Pokemon games on my handy dandy iPhone.
Oh God, you're doing that too. So I guess on the iPhone, real quick, do you like the virtual touchscreen buttons for Game Boy?
I do, but it's a bit jarring because the vibration for them is a lot harder than like when you're typing. So like if I play for like 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, like it feels fine, and then I go to text somebody and it feels off or like weird. Like my brain has to like recalibrate to how it's supposed to feel. But I've actually been using my Pro Controller the last couple of days, so I've stopped using the actual touchscreen.
Are you using a Switch Pro Controller?
Yeah, you just hit the pair button, go to settings, Bluetooth, pops right up, and then just auto connects to the phone. And the cool thing about it is when you connect the controller, the overlay goes away from the app, so then your game's full screen. You don't even have to look at the buttons or anything. It's
wow. Doug Bowser's listening to this somewhere, just single tear rolling down his cheek.
If only Nintendo will let me buy old Pokemon games on the Switch, I would have done it probably multiple times over by now.
Yeah, and they have that Game Boy app now, right? And they have the Game Boy Color app and the Game Boy Advance app.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Because you could just dump every Pokemon game on that platform right now. Yeah. And at the very least, it seems like this, I think it's called Delta, right?
Yes.
This Delta app is kind of proving that there's a market for bringing Nintendo IP to other devices, right? Like Nintendo doesn't want to do that, but
I mean, it was the number one app in entertainment. At least last week when I wrote our guide on it, it was all over the place. Like people have nostalgia for these games. They will pay for them and play them.
Mm-hmm. I also wonder if Nintendo sees this and they're like, finally deploy the Game Boy Mini. Like like the SNES Mini and the whatever. It feels like a Game Boy Mini with everything on it would sell.
That'd be cool.
But they'd find some way to make it annoying, and then someone would jailbreak it anyway. And so yeah, well, it's cool. It's good to hear that you're still enjoying your old Pokemon days. I'm sure with legally backed up ROMs and everything, so that's important.
Yep, of course. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, because that's super easy to do. So Stellar Blade, Donovan, this is it's a PlayStation exclusive for now, right?
Yes. I don't know if they said it's going to come to any other platforms because this was a PlayStation Studios published joint. Although
I just say that because
yeah, never say never.
PlayStation games, they eventually come out on PC, so maybe this is one of those. And then occasionally PlayStation Studios games will show up on Xbox. Like what was that? The Show, yeah, the MLB The Show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Stellar Blade, is this an action RPG, or how would you describe it?
Action RPG makes sense. It's got a whole lot of Souls-like DNA, which I actually wasn't expecting. I knew it was going to be an action, hack 'em up game, but it's straight up a Souls-like. You're resting at camps, and you've got limited health potions, and every time you rest, enemies respawn, and there's a lot of dodging and parrying and all that. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think that the combat in Stellar Blade is so good. It's such a satisfying game to play. Just the boss designs are all really fun. It actually feels satisfying to dodge and parry. It's something that a lot of Souls-like games get wrong, I feel.
Yeah.
But that whole system feels very good. Skill tree is robust. All of the animations are so cinematic that you can make Eve, the name of the main character, do. Very satisfying game to play, even though I didn't really enjoy the story of the world. All that felt very generic and dull to me, but I think the stuff that matters, they kind of knock out the park.
I think that's true of a lot of Souls games, though. Like, the story is kind of secondary to the gameplay, so it doesn't seem like it's that big of a departure from that genre, at least.
Definitely true. But even you look at like an Elden Ring or a Dark Souls, and people have like dedicated thousands of pages of wikis to like piecing together the lore of characters and stuff, and I'm like, nobody's doing that with Stellar Blade. It's just not interesting enough to warrant that, I feel.
That's fair. It's probably not as long of a game as Elden Ring can be.
Also true.
So, can we talk about the hard R?
Yeah. So, I had a feeling this would come up. It's weird, right?
What?
Because every now and then, okay, yeah, I should probably explain. So, Joe, when Stellar Blade's review embargo lifted yesterday, it was immediately met with controversy because in the game there's a shop you can go to called the Roxanne shop. It's run by a character named Roxanne, but it's shortened to the R shop. And there's like a sign on the wall. It's like a little fancy neon sign, just says R shop. And there's graffiti found on a lot of the buildings. This has a bunch of different words, one of them being hard. And in one particular instance, on the wall next to the R shop is graffitied word hard, making hard R, just on the wall, just on display for anybody that runs by to see it. I miraculously didn't even see this when I was playing, or else I probably would have told you guys internally. But yeah, they ended up patching it out and issuing like a statement saying that it was unintentional and so on and so forth. But it was trending on Twitter. It's like the enduring conversation around this game on launch day, which I'm sure PlayStation was really excited about.
Yeah. I fired up the old Twitter machine and I go to trending and hard R is trending and I'm like, of course it is. And then because I'm a glutton for punishment, I click on it and I'm like, oh, this is even weirder than I thought.
I didn't expect to see Stellar Blade on that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, I think a lot of the discourse around this game's kind of been blown out of proportion about either over sexualizing a character or whatever, and people being mad about it, and people being mad about how journalists think about things, and I don't know. Didn't seem like you felt any particular way about how the character was portrayed in the game.
No, it's one of those things where like I was kind of tired of that conversation before I even got the code for the game myself 2 weeks ago. And I mean, I guess like on the surface, I'm like, they kind of go a bit far with like jiggle physics and the design of the character, but it's also not like it just doesn't impact the quality of the game. And I think for me, at the end of the day, when I sit down to write a review, I'm just writing it for like the people who are making buying decisions, not like to contribute to the discourse of other games, journalists and publishers and whatnot. And the people that are just trying to figure out if this game's good or not, they just don't care if I think that the character is over sexualized or whatnot. It's just I don't know. I feel like that argument is better suited for a feature or an opinion piece than my game review.
Sure. Yeah, I think this is about, is the game, like, what is the game trying to do? Does it actually execute? Does it suck? So yeah, you gave it an 8 out of 10 over there at Check News. You did point out it's got a catchy soundtrack, so I'm interested to hear that. The boss battles are pretty solid. I can see from one of the screenshots in your review, like the bosses seem pretty big and cool looking, which I think is important for a Souls-like, right? You have to have this like feeling of accomplishment when you beat those bosses. I hope to someday know what that feels like. I'm still on Demon Souls first boss. But yeah,
this game has an assist mode for it that makes it a little better, where they pretty much turn like dodging and parrying into like quick time events, where it'll like prompt you specifically when you should dodge or try to parry an attack, which is I imagine a big help. So
nothing that I love more than dodging and parrying than quick time events. Those are two of my favorite gameplay mechanics, right? Stacked up on each other.
You know, as a super massive games fan, I'm an apologist for quick time events in video games, I have to admit.
That's fair. I mean, they serve a purpose at times.
I think Donovan's too young to have been inundated with the era that I'm thinking of, like maybe 15 to 18 years ago, when it was all you did in some games.
Yeah. Or like, even, I think Naughty Dog had a problem with it at one point with some of the Uncharted games, maybe like 2 or 3. I think they like started to go a little ham with that. The original God of War trilogy had a lot, like a lot of quick time events. And they were also these giant grand enemy battles. So I don't know, if it always felt like it kind of cheapened boss battles, but that's cool. Anything else you want the folks at home to know about Stellar Blade?
I want to know, how hard is it? Because as someone, like, to Asif's point, like, I can't show up for FromSoft games. I can't do it. Yeah. Can I show up for this?
Maybe. I definitely. I know we just joked about quick time events, but I do genuinely think that the assist mode is probably going to be huge if you're not someone who loves the grind of a Souls-like video game, because it is pretty much that otherwise. And obviously, people always rag on From Software for not putting any sort of easy mode or assist mode in their games. This game has one, so I think it's a lot more palatable. But I mean, if this genre is not your jam, I don't think this is the game that's going to like change.
Well, here's my very specific Souls-like question.
Okay.
Because rather than the explicit challenge of a particular boss being a turnoff for me, the thing I hate about Dark Souls is having to trek back. Like, you fail, sure, I expect to fail, but having to trek back
to get your souls,
all that time, either to get the souls or even if you bottomed out at 0, just to get back and try again. To me, that there's some psychology at play that I don't have the capacity for that.
That is very punishing. So they do a good job with specifically boss fights. They'll usually position a camp right before a boss fight, or they even have, like, I believe they're called like supply camps, which are like ones that have even more things you can customize. But they're usually right before a boss fight. So more often than not, when you do die to a boss, it's like 20 seconds right around the corner to get back to them. Now, with regular encounters, like you're just going through a level or through a street, or sometimes there will be instances where you get killed by like a regular enemy, and you do have to go back like 4 whole encounters because that was the last time you rested at a camp, and that's that of course blows when that happens.
Is there like a Souls mechanic in this game, and is it like, I don't know, coupons for Brazilian butt lifts, or like what are the what are the Souls equivalent?
No, it's not like that. So you just gather skill points as you kill enemies and like earn experience. But I don't think you lose those when you when you die. And it's not as punishing death in this game, I don't feel.
I think that's a huge difference. Because like that's part of what Joe's talking about, where you feel like you're being punished when you play a Souls game. Well, that's good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, Joe, what do you think? Are you gonna try it?
I'm not at full price. I'm not.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll admit to the, like, you know, Sony first party, there's a bit of like a boredom with it, but also, like, you know, Black Friday, I almost certainly will grab it. Yeah.
Okay. That's not the box quote I think they're shooting for, but that's fair. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't make our must play list, so luckily I don't think I have to play it just yet. I might be in the same boat as you though, Joe. Although whenever I hear new Souls like, I'm like, I should just go try to beat Demon Souls still because
right.
I already bought one that I haven't beaten, and it's like the genesis of all of these. So like, I feel like I need to beat that one before I progress. But yeah, at the current pace I'm playing through Demon Souls, I'll be done with Dark Souls 3 by like 2040. So yeah, Stellar Blade will be like $2 by then on PlayStation 8.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. So yeah, those are the games Donovan's playing. Joe, you played a video game in the last week?
I did. I know, sound effect of everyone in shock. No, I won't reuse that. That's got dedicated usage. Yeah, I went back to Rebirth. I'm not gonna talk about it here. But I went back to Rebirth. I think I'll bring it up again at the end of it. But what I didn't write down, Asif, that I wanted to mention was that the Disco Elysium Game Club is in the works. I wanted to have it. I wanted to announce it today.
Yeah,
which I guess I am, but I didn't get to that because I got to do a little more legwork, and also I ran out of time. But I want the listeners to know we will establish some sort of play along, whether it's multi-episode. I don't know. I'm figuring that out. But that's going to come, I'd say, definitely in the next month.
Okay.
And we'll talk more about that. Yeah.
I have the game installed on PC. So
good. Same here.
That's half the battle.
In the meantime, what have you been playing?
Okay, so I'm going to just go through F-099 real quick because I played it, but not a whole lot this week because I discovered something over the weekend in a different game, and now I'm kind of obsessed with it. So yeah, F-099 got more tracks again. So they added the King Cup mirror tracks. So this, like, in the last month, they've added 15 new tracks to the game and 3 new Grand Prix. So just a lot of continued support for this game from Nintendo. It's glorious. I have not won a Grand Prix yet. I haven't figured out what I want for my prize when I do either yet. But yeah, I want to talk about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom instead. I'm back in this game. I'm playing it every day. I learned a duplicate item glitch in the game. So Joe, you've beaten the game, right?
I have, yeah.
Donovan, where are you at in it? Like, have you
I got a couple of the sages, and that's that was about it. Yeah, I typed that around there. So
okay, so I don't want to spoil too much here, but there's a 5th sage, and this glitch involves the 5th sage, Joe.
Okay.
So I'll just talk through how you do it because it's really strange. It's a very strange thing. So you summon Minoru, right? Minoru being the 5th sage. You right?
Oh no, there's so much spoiler happening.
No, I didn't say whatever. Ignore that part. So once you're there, you pause the game. You dismiss Minoru. You know how you can like call a sage and dismiss them based on their little logo in the pause menu?
I didn't know that, but okay.
Yeah, you can. It's hugely important because the game runs like crap when all 5 sages are on screen.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so you can dismiss them. So in the pause screen, you dismiss Minoru, right? Yep. Without unpausing the game, you hit the back button to bring up the adventure log. You go all the way down to the memories. You play a memory. You can skip the memory once you play it. Then you pause it again. Without unpausing it, you hit the plus button. You go to the inventory. You grab 4 items of whatever you want to duplicate. Then you hit the back button again. You go back to the stories or the memories. You play a memory again. You can skip it again if you want to. Then you unpause the game. So here's what you do after this. You have to throw a weapon, right? But before you throw your weapon, you hold down the right shoulder button. You hit up on the D-pad to select the item that you want to dupe, and you throw it on the ground until you get to the negative numbers on the quick inventory screen. So once you're at like -4, once you're at -4, you hit pause, you grab another item, and on the screen, it'll show you holding 4 things. Even though you just threw the 4 things, the screen shows you holding 4 things.
This is insane.
You drop all 4 things, and you have effectively duplicated whatever you wanted.
Who figured this out?
I don't know, but I want to give them an award because, like, I saw it on multiple YouTube videos, and no one said no one had a source for it. But someone is out there figuring out these insane glitches.
Insane. I remember the early launch window glitches, and they were like pause, jump off of something, and drop, whatever XYZ in your inventory, and because you're mid-air or something that it didn't register as a consumption.
Yep.
You just read a novel to me. What? You got to watch a memory. What?
2.
You got to watch 2 memories.
Yeah.
The trial and error to get to this. To this, who's writing this guide? The trial and error necessary to get there.
News. It might be live tonight.
Woof.
But
oh man.
So anyway, Joe, what this has unlocked for me is what we've talked about. There's part of this game that's too grindy, right?
Yeah.
And to me, it's that post game, that new game plus. There is no new game plus because even if you save the world, the save file goes back to right before you beat the final boss.
Right.
So yeah, like I fully upgraded the Hero of Time armor. I fully upgraded the Depths armor. I now have full battery capacity. I didn't have any of that before. I also made like 100 diamonds and sold half of them. So I have like 27,000 rupees now. So like money's not a problem.
What would you spend? That was my other criticism. It's like, I don't know, like I'd never understood what I wanted really anything for other than to survive a little longer. And because I, beat the final boss without any of that, where's the challenge really left?
Oh,
that's more.
And this is where we talked about it in past episodes, like the stuff that's going on building things in the game.
Yeah, sure.
Like I want to create a Lionel killing machine because I suck at killing Lionels, but I would like to just kill them with a machine. So why I care about battery power, here's a good example. I don't know, did either of you guys make a hover bike while playing the game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I was able to fly a hover bike across all of Central Hyrule without any battery boost. Like it was just on my regular battery. And then I like landed, let the battery charge, and I took off again. So like you could probably traverse Hyrule like east to west in like 3 battery charges.
That's cool.
Like that is super useful, like in the depths all over the place. It just makes traversal easier. So I think that's part of it. The other thing is like, I don't know, I like being OP in that game because now it's like some of these armor challenges, to upgrade your armor, you still have to go down in the depths and fight like a Frox or something, like, so it's cool to see my character go from like, I had like 40 armor to like 60 now. Yeah, not having to switch to my more powerful armor when I'm fighting, like knowing that I can be in the depths and fight with that armor or above ground and fight with the Hero of Time armor. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, it seems like this has kind of pushed me to like, I do want 100% this game. Not all of it, but like I want to get all of the shrines. I want to find, like, just through the process of playing this last week, I found like 3 light roots. So I want to find all the light roots. I want to find all the shrines. I really enjoy, like, it was just funny. Like I could fly a hover bike from the ground all the way to the Sky Islands on a charge. So it's like little things like that I think make it worth 100%ing your battery for. But it was something that I wouldn't have done if I had to go mine for Zonite for the next year. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't going to do it. So like once I got that ability, once I unlocked that ability, oh, by the way, the glitch that I talked about, it only works up to 20 items. So now let me tell you about another glitch that I learned.
Oh no.
It's not as bad. It's just so dumb.
You have to watch 6 memories.
No memories required here. Okay. It's the same dupe glitch, but after you hit 20 items, you deposit 16 of them. But where do you deposit these things? So, you know those Zonai item dispensers?
Yeah.
They're like the little, they shoot out the little balls or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can clog them. So you get 2 fans and you put them together and you
Come on.
I'm telling you, man. So you get 2 fans, you attach them like in an L shape, you put them right next to where the balls come out of the machine, and then you input something that gets rejected. So like, I don't know, carrots or something, right? And when that happens, it spits them back out. In that time when it spits them out, you can ultra hand the fans into the hole, twist them up so that it jams the hole and the door open. So now you have a place where you can store your excess inventory and the game will not consider it part of your inventory. Like when it goes inside of that, it's no longer considered part of your on your body inventory. So that is how you get around the 20 item limitation. So yesterday I made like 200 Zonite, large Zonite, and I went to every single forge construct and I got all the different currency that you need to upgrade your battery. So I now know what happens when you fully upgrade your battery pack. You can go to the steward construct with your little energy currency and you can buy whatever Zonai device you want instead of having to do the like rolling the dice at, you know, any of those dispensers.
Okay.
You can just buy it for like 3 energy crystals. So I think that's going to be where I go to buy all the stuff that I end up using to build these ridiculous items. So like you can see how this is starting to come together, right? This is all so that I can do some crazy stuff in the game. And I do intend, I think it's the anniversary of the game's release is May 12th. I believe, we can just announce it on the podcast, but I'm going to be streaming on May 10th, showcasing the most ridiculous things that I can do in the game.
Nice.
But yeah, like, it's more, I'm more just interested in doing those things, but also just being back in that game. Like I understand how the Nintendo Switch can be off-putting for people, but that's like the best video game ever made. Just from a design standpoint, like from a gameplay interaction standpoint, I don't think there's ever been more complicated systems in an open world than that game. And getting to manipulate them and seeing how they can be manipulated and how that actually makes the game more fun is pretty interesting. So yeah. I'm back in Tears of the Kingdom in a big way.
Sweet.
But yeah, it is ridiculous. I've gotten very fast at it, Joe, if that makes you feel any better.
I mean, it does. I mean, I would hope that you could get that to some like second nature state, because listening to what you said sounded like insanity.
It is.
That sounds insane.
It
definitely is.
And like, so here's just a peek behind the curtain. So I try to do this in my off time because it is just tedious. So I've been doing it at night, and we talk about how that's usually when I play F-Zero, right? So the game that I'm playing is I'll take an edible and I'll start duplicating. And once I start screwing up the process, I'll go play F-Zero because I'm like, okay, it's starting to hit me. I'm pausing at the wrong time, or I hit the wrong button, or like, you screw up one thing in that sequence and it does not work at all.
Sure.
So it's just a complete pain in the ass. But yeah, and then like when I'm done, I usually will like go back to I found like this one dispenser that I really like. And do you remember that Sky Island that you had to go to before you got the 5th stage, Joe? It's where all the lightning and thunder is.
I do, yeah.
I love that place. I love the music there. Like, it's just something about that place that I really like. So that's been my duping location, and that's where I clog the Zonai dispenser and all that. So I'll do that.
Just
like,
wreaking havoc up there.
I'll just go there, and it's hilarious because like there's 2 trees around that thing, and without fail, both of them will get hit by lightning in the time that I'm duping stuff. So it's funny just to see that happening there. But yeah, I feel like I'm what I'm doing sounds tedious, but I can tell you with 100% certainty, it's less tedious than if I actually went to find those items.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's some kind of freedom that I've unlocked with this that it's made me go back to that game and really appreciate it.
We need Tears of the Kingdom arena mode with just, no consumables.
You saying like a versus mode?
Yeah, or just a playground mode, I guess is what I mean. Just, to have to take this part out of it so you can just get to the creativity. Because you're ultimately doing all this so that you could mess around with their systems.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. It's like, kind of like in City Skylines, like having the infinite money mutator on or something. Like, yeah. If they gave us a Zelda game with mutators, where you could alter the game's rules, that would be something. They'll never do that. And also, like, how the hell did this happen? What kind of weird memory glitch is this? Because, like, there's no way. This was not an intentional thing, right? No one intentionally put this in the game.
With the amount of steps that you're talking about, it would be a nightmare to intentionally program that.
Yeah, there's no way. So then it leads me to wonder, can you intentionally fix this?
True.
Do they even care? Is it so asinine that they're not even going to do anything about it? But yeah, that's what I've been playing. And nice. I'm sure John's been playing Fortnite still.
Yeah, I don't have an update for you on that. That sounds
He's
right.
playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
That's my update. He has the Billie Eilish skin.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
But that is a thing.
Wow.
Yep. Well, that's it. We did it. That's what we've been playing. Do we have a game?
We have a game.
Oh my.
Fellas. And it is going to be a 1v1 game. So buckle up.
Oh no.
We'll be right back. Welcome to The Blade Itself. This little game is inspired by Stellar Blade, and I was thinking, the word blade is commonly found in game titles. A cursory search yielded 500 plus results.
Oh God.
So, this game will test your knowledge of those games. We're going to go back and forth, and you're going to name a game with the word blade in the title. And as long as you don't pass or name a game that doesn't exist, then you're good. But 3 strikes and you're sliced. Here are the rules. The word blade must occur in the game's title. The word blade may be plural. It also may be attached to other characters for some made up word like Blade Zorg or something. I just made that up. Don't name that. Here's a catch, because I don't want any guessing. When you name the game, you need to also tell me at least one of the platforms the game was released on so that I know that you actually are saying something that you're aware of. DLCs are fair game, and those are all the rules. Are there any questions?
No.
No. Oh, actually, yes, I do have a question. Do the games have to be out?
That's a good question. Like, can they be announced?
Yeah, like if there's an upcoming game.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
As long as the thing exists in some manner of speaking.
I know what game he's talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know what game you're talking about, Donovan. I might just say it to steal it from you.
Well, on my chart, on my scoreboard, Asif is first. So let's see. Let's kick it off with Asif.
Blade.
Go ahead. Remember, you have to name a title as well.
No, literally, Blade. Marvel's Blade. And was it the Dishonored devs are making it? It's probably going to be on PC.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said title. I need to name platform too. PC. Good. Fine. Yes.
Was that the one, Donovan?
Yeah, that was it. I'll say Stellar Blade.
You're going to have to name a platform, man. You're going to have to do it.
PS5. It's on PlayStation 5.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. Okay, Asif.
Blades of Steel for the NES.
You're going to make me look stuff up to keep you honest. Blades of Steel.
How dare you not know?
1991. Beautiful.
Yeah.
But dating back to 89. Okay.
It's an NES hockey game where you could fight.
Sweet.
Yep.
Donovan, you're up.
Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice, which is on the Xbox One.
That's lovely. Did you play it on Xbox?
I did.
Yeah, Is it on other? I guess it's on PC too, right?
Yeah, it was on PC. That's why I played it. But that's cool. Good answer.
Good answer.
I was trying not to say this because it's gonna give him a hint, but Xenoblade Chronicles for Wii U.
Ooh. Should I get semantic?
It's Wii.
We'll let it slide. Yes,
It works on Wii U, man. It works on Wii U. You can put the disc in
backwards
the Wii
compatible.
U.
Sure. Okay,
They're
Donovan.
the same system.
Xenoblade 3 for Nintendo Switch.
That's not the full name.
Hey, come on! It's like the subtitle.
You can give it to him.
Chronicles 3 done. Switch good. Awesome.
Yes. Sorry.
Well, Earthblade,
Okay.
and that's not out
Ooh,
yet, but I think
Correct.
it's going to be on Switch or Steam.
Correct.
That is a good one. That is a good
Can't
one.
I'm
wait,
looking
cannot
forward
wait.
to that.
Yeah, me too. Oof, that was a good one. I would have to say, I guess I'll just double up on the Ninja Theory and say, Senua Saga Hellblade 2, which is going to be on the Xbox Series X this year.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2
All right. All
for
right.
Switch.
That's right.
Oh boy, we might be nearing the end of the road.
490 games remain.
Yeah, and with that, I'm going to say, I'm gonna say, okay, so it's kind of a guess, but it's like an educated guess. I'm gonna say Blade, a game adaptation of the Wesley Snipes Blade films, and I'm gonna guess that would have come out on the PlayStation 2.
Well, there's a Blade release from Activision in the year 2000,
Wow.
and
Is it on PS2?
I'm looking.
I think PS2 was
listing
2000.
Yeah, the listing I pulled up is for GBA, so let's see.
Oh no, that doesn't bode well.
Platforms, PlayStation 1.
No,
Yep.
no.
Now, I want to be, hold on, because someone's going to write in and say, no,
yeah,
there
you know
was
what?
one, you idiot. Blade 2. No, I'm sorry, Blade PlayStation 2.
Saying something like I know Blade
Yep.
was
Up.
like late
Okay.
90s.
Sorry, sir. Blade 2 was for PlayStation 2. So I'm going to say that you did not get that right.
Yes.
And that is,
That's fair.
and that's a demerit.
That's it. I win, right?
No, there's three strikes and you're sliced.
Oh, three strikes.
God. It's 3 strikes? Oh, damn.
This whole time I was like, I might only name 2 games. Okay.
Okay, so now, oh, man.
Awesome set.
Oh, that changes everything.
I
I mean, not really, because I'm not going to magically remember more games. But
There are so many games you could name.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say Blades of Steel 2 for NES.
Okay. Let's see. You're forcing me to look this up. Blades of Steel 2. Oh, I'm so sorry. It is called Blades of Steel 2000.
Is it for NES?
I doubt it. For 2000, it's
yeah.
looks like a
N64.
more recent release.
Probably N64.
Yeah, this website's awful. Game Boy Color again.
Okay, whatever.
Either way, not NES and also not
Okay,
a game.
so that's my first strike.
First strike. Guys, you can do this. Donovan, you're up.
I'm going to say Blade 2 for the PS2.
You can't do that.
I'm going to say
wait.
you can't do. I'm going to say you
No.
can't do that.
He
I'll
just
give you
got
that
the
answer.
answer.
Can I say Blade 1 for the PS1?
No, he gave you those answers.
Yeah, I think that is off limits.
Yeah.
But nice try.
All right. Like, you have to try it.
Yeah, you can try.
I will then say, for some reason, a title I keep coming back to, I'm almost positive is fake, is Retroblade. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Retroblade. I don't think that's a thing that exists.
Let's see. You'd also have to name the platform with my genius rule.
I would. That was a genius rule because I would have just been pulling titles out of my ass. I'm gonna guess Retroblade came out on the Xbox 360.
Retroblade is not a game.
Okay. I'm probably gonna do the same thing, Donovan. Like just make up a game. I'm gonna say Blades of Fury for Xbox 360.
Blades of Fury.
Ooh, wait.
I just gave Donovan an idea. It's not real.
Well, Blades of Fury is an IP. It is.
Of course it is.
It is a game. Developer Gameloft.
Oh, it's
Well,
mobile.
that's the Dreamlight Valley devs.
Yeah, it's mobile probably.
It is. It is in the 360 era.
Oh,
Hold on. Did you just? Did you just do this?
Oh,
I'm
What?
looking. I'm looking. I'm looking. Okay, hang
Come
on.
on,
Blades,
Blades
of
of
Fury.
Fury.
Blades of Fury. Yep. Wait.
wow.
Wait. It's not
No.
the full. It's not the full name.
oh, come on.
And it looks to have come to Xbox in the Xbox One era.
Okay, well, fine. You don't have to give me credit, but I was close.
Wow.
Damn it.
That
Wow,
was
you were
shockingly
close. It is Blades of Fury. That exact title is an iOS release.
I knew it. Mobile
Wow.
game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I was close,
Wow.
Donovan.
Yeah, that was scary. That deserves a round of applause anyway.
One more strike, and you're
All right,
sliced.
well,
Aren't we both out with one more strike?
The game's over at one more strike from
Okay.
Asif. And Donovan
I mean,
has
he's-
2 more
he's-
strikes.
no, I got
He
I
got a
just messed
strike
up
last
on I made up a game. I said Blade something. I forget already what I said, but I just said a fake game. I said Retro Blade.
Yeah,
That was me.
Retro Blade.
Oh yeah, my
Yeah.
bad.
It's
I
2
didn't- I
strikes
didn't lock
apiece
that.
right now.
2
So-
strikes apiece. The next strike, and the game is sliced, and the loser is sliced.
Oh, man.
And that might happen very soon because I'm once again going to make an educated guess on a licensed tie-in game that may or may not exist and say Blades of Glory on the Xbox 360 based on the hit feature film.
I sincerely doubt it. Let's see.
Come on,
Blades of Blades of Glory came up. That's not what you said.
Glory. No.
Blades
course
of
that's the thing.
Glory is
Yeah.
available on the Xbox store as a film.
Oh, come on! I thought I nailed that one.
I'm gonna have to say you've been sliced. Y'all
It's okay.
named 9 games. Asif, you are the
Wow.
victor.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wow.
I'm wondering, should I name a couple games?
Yes.
Are there any like big ones that we didn't get? I
Yeah,
would
did
love
we
to know.
miss some like very, very obvious ones?
There is Infinity Blade, which is I think a
Yeah.
rather
Epic
popular
Yeah,
iOS game.
could have got that one.
Epic Games, that's right.
Eterno Blade, another iOS series that's I think quite popular.
Okay.
There's Xenoblade for Wii U, which has a different title.
Yeah.
What is that
I've
called?
never played a Xenoblade game.
Have you ever used igdb.com? Have you ever used that?
No.
ATP, I don't think so.
It's
It
like
is
the
a-
IMDb, but for games.
Yeah, and it's just a terrible web experience.
Mhm.
Blade 2, hang on. Here we go. No, I can't navigate this. So it's going to remain a mystery. Anyway, there's 500 plus results. So,
Okay,
I think Infinity Blade is probably one of the ones that are sticking out.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I can sleep knowing I forgot Infinity Blade. I was just worried there's going to be like some massive like AAA game that came out last year. It's
Super
like, how'd you not
Mario
know?
Blade.
Yeah, exactly. Pokemon Blade. It's like
Blade Assault. Yeah, Blade Strangers.
there's Naraka Blade Point.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Who can
Um,
forget
um,
that?
Who
Yeah.
can forget that? There's Blade and Sword,
There's Stray Blade.
Stray Blade,
Mm,
Blade Star, Blade Slinger, Blade Born, Blade Song,
Blade
Born.
Born?
Moonlight Blade,
That just seems made up.
a Wolfenstein game called Blade of Agony, which I think is DLC.
Microsoft had a
Uh,
game called Ninja Blade for 360.
Yes. See, there you go. Blades
Okay.
of Thunder 2, etc.
Well,
Anyway, this has been The Blade itself. Thanks for playing. Congratulations to Asif, our champion.
I got revenge on Donovan for his Pokemon destruction.
That's right.
yeah.
Wow. Well, we're going to move on to story time right after this.
Welcome to Story Time. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. Man, this is a packed. It feels like Story Time's always packed, but this one's especially packed. A lot of financial news. A lot of weird news out there. So let's start with some of the weirdest news. Embracer Group reveals plan to split into 3 publicly traded companies. One is called Asmodee Group, one is called Coffee Stain and Friends, and one is called Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends. You know, the studio that makes Tomb Raider.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's fair to say that Embracer Group was a catastrophe or fiasco. Yep. A catastrophe-fiasco.
I like that.
I see, Joe, you have a one-liner here that you should probably say.
I wrote, and I quote, "Now that's what I call a 3-body problem." That one's for Sam.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. Embracer was built on acquiring companies so that they could sell to the Saudis, and then the Saudis were like, nah. So they have now basically completely dismantled the apparatus. And this is kind of an indictment of the whole idea that you can just acquire your way to growth. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about this other than like, I hope that these companies can succeed now on their own. But it's still going to be owned by the same people. I'm sure there'll be different heads of the studios and stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's unclear to me why this would help.
Yeah, I mean, like you have a pie. You cut the pie into 3 pieces. Do you have more pie?
I guess from a branding standpoint, I get the idea because the name Embracer Group has been like dragged through the mud for the past year. And if like one person sees Middle-earth and Friends on a game and doesn't know it's Embracer Group, then like that's a W for them, right? Because I imagine that's going to be a name that people just avoid like the plague now. So
it's just sad because we used to see Crystal Dynamics and we'd be like, oh, Tomb Raider. Now it's like Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends. Oh yeah,
that's a terrible Tomb Raider.
That's so bad.
You know what I mean? Man. Like Crystal Dynamics, like I saw that and I knew, okay, this is a Tomb Raider game. This is going to be a pretty good game or whatever. It's just their whole, because I think their business model of buying a bunch of brands and merging them together, it hurts now that they have to split them up like this because the decisions to put the Lord of the Rings IP with Tomb Raider or whatever is just strange to me. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe good for Coffee Stain that they got to survive this. I'm happy for all the companies that are surviving this, all the devs that are going to make out okay from this. But yeah, it's sad. And it just shows you how greedy the people at Embracer were. And this is like the other side of it now. They're having to like take their medicine.
Didn't take long.
Speaking of taking medicine, Joe Biden, president, signs a bill to ban TikTok if ByteDance doesn't divest by, I think it's like 9 months from now. So this is about a Chinese company owning a social media platform in the United States. I don't know. Yeah. We have 5,000 followers over on TikTok, and like one of our videos just hit 2 million views. So yeah, this is about right. we're finally growing on a platform. Go ahead and kill it, Joe Biden. I just want to point out something. This is not a political statement, but Joe Biden yesterday was reading a teleprompter at an event, and he said, 4 more years, pause.
Let's see.
He read the instruction to pause.
Oh, no.
You know, who among us hasn't, when reading a teleprompter?
That's
I'm just
true.
saying.
I've done that.
4 more years, pause. 4 more years, pause. Anyway. I don't want to. These are quickies. We're moving on. Anyone have thoughts about TikTok being banned?
I like TikTok, I admit. So
you like it?
I mean, like I've curated a feed that is so blissfully stupid that it's semi-healthy.
Would you let your kids use stuff. TikTok?
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I do not use it, but I also do not want to see it banned, is my official statement.
Nice.
I just don't it seems completely arbitrary because like is it just because of the Chinese ownership? Because then
definitely
probably
because then what's I saw one representative when they were debating this on the floor of the House or whatever, and he was like, he literally said that the one of the reasons they want to do this is because pro-Palestinian speech is like, there's like 80% more of it on TikTok than any other social media platform. And I'm like, okay, that's doesn't seem like a bad thing, but yeah, this is one of those things where like the president's going to piss off a bunch of young people. Like, yeah, I don't know if that's the smartest move in an election year, honestly.
What is the mechanism for banning? How do they block that?
I'm guessing that it would involve injunctions sent to like Google and Apple with regards to their app stores, but then also like internet service providers or people who provide backend servers for TikTok. It would be about sanctioning those companies more than it is them. But yeah, that's a good question too. But yeah, moving on, because we don't know. And also, like, I think it's awfully convenient that the 9-month deadline comes after the election. So it's like, we'll see what happens.
Right.
Also, who do you think's dumb enough to buy TikTok? Microsoft? Probably, right?
Yeah, they seem like they like to buy things when they're about to burst.
Yeah. Be like buying Hotmail. Next one. This is a good news story. This is actually the government doing something good. The FTC has voted to ban non-compete clauses federally. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was a problem. So
Explain like
a lot of tech companies, a lot of companies in general will put clauses in your contract when you sign with them saying, if you leave or if you're fired, you can't work for a competitor for X amount of time. This invalidates those clauses. This has already been passed in the state of California, which is important for the tech industry, but a lot of tech companies have moved to Texas and other places to get around this. So this is good. This is just good for workers' rights. And it's great. So it's great news. Shout out to the FTC for actually doing this one right. I know a lot of people were crapping all over them during the Microsoft versus FTC trial, during the Activision hearings. But the FTC stands for the Fair Trade Commission. We should not be cheering against the Fair Trade Commission if it's trying to help us.
Right.
Although they've done some other really stupid shit. So here we are, FTC banning non-compete clauses. That's great news.
Yes.
More great news. Fallout 4 has reached over 100,000 concurrent Steam players following the release of the TV show on Amazon Prime. How about that?
That's a lot.
It's like the Mario movie effect, but for Fallout. And I believe Fallout 4 is getting its next gen or current gen, I don't know what the hell to call it. The update is happening today.
Today that we're recording this, yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't, you got a new opportunity to play Fallout 4 for the first time on these newer hardware systems. I guess it's for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X.
Correct, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been like a cool story to follow since the show came out. I'm always interested when like an adaptation releases and people love it so much that the games get like a residual bump from it. And Fallout might be like the biggest we've seen so far. Like they put out a tweet last week, or maybe that was earlier this week, that Fallout 76 had like 1 million players in a single day. Yeah, just that game that everybody hated like 6 years ago. This is just casually cleaning up now because that's how much people were into the Fallout show, and also obviously how much they've worked to improve it over the years. But
our head of video, Greg Burke, put out a video talking about how different Fallout 76 is now when compared to its launch. So you can check that out on our YouTube channel.
Right.
But yeah, Fallout, it's back, baby.
Oh yeah.
Just in time for Microsoft to not have Fallout 5 ready anytime soon.
I was going to say, have fun with Fallout 4, guys. That's going to have to hold you over for a long time.
Because they said Fallout 5 is coming after Elder Scrolls 6, which means...
which is not coming for at least another like 4 or 5 years itself.
Yeah. So anyway, go play Fallout 4. Or Fallout 76, or New Vegas, or Fallout 3, or Fallout 1, or Fallout 2. There's a lot of great Fallout games out there.
Or Shelter.
Yeah.
Well, it is funny to like dunk on them for not having a Fallout 5 for probably another decade. It is cool that all the existing Fallout games are pretty accessible. You don't have to really jump through any hoops to play all the ones people love.
And if you like those early Fallout games, 1 and 2, check out the Wasteland series too from InXL. But yeah, I hope people rediscover this franchise, or even maybe the isometric games. But yeah, I hope increased interest for these games is not a bad thing. So, and the show's good. So congratulations to everyone involved. I don't know how to pronounce this game. I don't know. Joe, how do I pronounce this? The 100 Heroes game? Ayuden?
Ayuden? Yeah.
Is it Ayuden?
Ayuden Chronicles? Is that what we're talking
Ayuden? Ayuden
Ayuden
Chronicle? 100 Heroes. Yeah. Lucas White reviewed this for us. Apparently the game's having some technical issues on Switch and other consoles. But outside of that, this is like a very large, crazy, there's like 100 different companions that you could use in this game.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nuts.
In the vein of Suikoden,
Yeah. It's his spiritual successor, I believe, is what they're calling it. It got a 7 out of 10 at Shack News. It's not the worst game on earth. It might be one of those where you want to wait until you hear about some patches coming to the game first before you jump in. That wasn't it, though. We had a Sandland review also go live this week from Josh Broadwell. Also got a 7 out of 10. This is definitely one of those... it's a Bandai game where they're taking an existing IP and doing some things that maybe hasn't been tried with this IP before. Doesn't seem bad. A 7 out of 10 at Shack News is not a bad score. But yeah, nice characters, tedious stealth sections, combat feels overly simple, and dungeon and puzzle design can be bland. This kind of sounds like Kakarot to me. I don't know if you remember that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot that came out from Bandai. It was like cool looking, but then when you played it, it was just kind of empty. I feel like they may have run into a similar problem here. I want to point out that they, just from a marketing standpoint, they posted a trailer of for Sandland with the song Sandstorm. The old, from Darude. You guys know electronic music?
No.
It's the song that's like you know the song. Sure. So they put that to this gameplay. It was actually pretty funny. Sandland out there. These are quickies though. We're moving on. Final Fantasy 16, your favorite, Joe.
Wow.
It got DLC.
It did. You're being sarcastic. This game sucked.
Yeah, I don't even. These are quickies. Moving on. Saga Emerald Beyond review. This is a game that I believe Lucas also reviewed for us. Yeah, and he loved. This is, of the JRPGs that were reviewed this week at Shack News, this seems to be the one to pick up.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you a fan of the Saga series?
I believe Saga is one of Jeremy Parish's sort of hallmarks of reference. So I hold it in esteem for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played, but based on what Lucas wrote and said a couple weeks ago, this does look like the sort of JRPG freak show that I have an appetite for. So
yeah.
So
yeah, lots of positives. Got a 9 out of 10 at Shack News, which that means it's a pretty good video game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, lots of reviews, like tons of reviews on the site this week. We also reviewed Topspin. Another Crab's Treasure just got reviewed. I think TJ's gonna be streaming that tomorrow.
Yeah, Asif, I did not put that on the list, and then all of a sudden I hear and I see stories and I hear on podcasts like that's like a big deal, that game.
Yes.
So I should have put that on the list.
TJ, it can be. We're doing it now. It's on the list now. This is a Souls-like built in a crab universe with like a hermit crab shell involved.
Wow.
Yeah, this TJ loved this so much that it's on the must play list. So yeah, it is. It's an excellent video game. It's a Souls-like, but they do have some assist features to make it less terrible, less difficult. I think a lot of what's winning people over is the charming world that they created, because like so many Souls-likes are in this goth, dark, rainy, whatever. Like this is a very colorful world with like funny, silly things happening. The developers, was it Aggro Crab? Is that the name of their studio? Mm-hmm. They're just silly. They make silly video games, and I feel like they didn't take themselves too seriously, and it landed perfectly. So yeah, this is a game that it's like a hidden gem in this year of releases so far. Is obviously an indie studio. I believe they had their studio robbed several times, either late last year or early this year. Yeah, someone found where they were located, and they kept breaking in at night and doing stuff. They had dev kits stolen and all sorts of stuff. So I'm happy to hear that they were able to get through that. Also, shout out to former Shack staffer Joe Torado actually brought over a dev kit for them because I think they're both in Seattle area. So yeah, just a lot of people came together to help them out to get this game across the finish line. But yeah, it's great. And yeah, it's on the Shack News Must playlist. So
I recently learned that souls in this game are called microplastics. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's little details like that I think are really great. And yeah, it's worthy of a mention. And like I said, a ton of games reviewed this week at Shack News. So also Tales of Kenzaro Zao was reviewed. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wrath of the Mutants was reviewed. It's not very good. Topspin 2K25 was reviewed. Just if you ever wanted to see what's been reviewed lately, just go to Shack News, click on that reviews tab. There's a good chance it will have something to tell you about. And then our last quickie, Apple announces an all-digital Let Loose event on May 7th because I don't have enough stuff happening on May 7th.
Mm.
So,
and we're recording that day, right?
Yeah, we're recording a podcast that day. That's also the day that Nintendo reports earnings at butt o'clock in the morning. So can't wait to react to this. The Apple video that they posted, it just shows a finger or someone like with an Apple pencil flipping it around and stuff. So people seem to think this is going to focus on the iPad and iPad adjacent things.
Okay.
This is probably one of those Apple events that could have been a press release. So we'll see. But I don't know. The other news out of Apple this week is that they are, I know this is going to shock everyone who listens, they are cutting orders for Apple Vision Pro. Apparently people don't want to buy the $3,500 headset.
Wow.
It's appalling.
I know, it's shocking. So yeah, those are the quickies. Let's move to these longies real quick. Tesla reported earnings on, what was that, Tuesday? Yeah.
Yep.
They missed earnings expectations from Wall Street. They missed the revenue expectations from Wall Street, but they did beat what is like the lowered expectation earnings whisper number. So results were not as bad as they could have been, I guess. The stock went up in reaction to the results. Here are just some data points that I think are interesting from it. Their cash holdings dropped $2.5 billion during the quarter. They spent $1 billion buying GPUs for training AI. Musk claims that the Tesla robotaxi will be built with a revolutionary unboxed manufacturing strategy. We're going to see more of that product on August 8th at a special event. Tesla has now moved up their schedule for the cheaper vehicles. They now intend to sell the cheaper vehicle models by the second half of 2025. And they said that those vehicles will be built on the same existing lines. So they're hopeful that they could, scale faster than maybe the Cybertruck where they had to build a brand new line. Tesla says they're no longer AI training compute constrained. I know you're happy to hear that, right, Joe? They will have 85,000 NVIDIA H100s deployed by the end of this year. 85,000 of these supercomputer GPUs to help train their computer vision AI self-driving thing. There are now 6,249 Tesla supercharger stations in the world. They are the largest charging network on the planet. Musk said that Tesla Optimus robot volume production and deliveries could begin in 2025. Get excited for your robot future. Tesla says that they're in FSD licensing discussions with one large automaker. So even though they don't actually have full self-driving working, they're already talking about licensing it to other companies. So yeah, those are some of the highlights from the call. We have a transcript of the entire call. Elon did say something on the call that I thought I would highlight here. He said, if you don't think that Tesla can solve autonomy, like autonomous vehicles, if you don't think that they can solve that, you should not be a shareholder. So I thought that was kind of interesting. He's kind of laying that in the sand. I don't think he can do it. So I may or may not own some shares in my retirement account still. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like to me, the biggest story is that they're pushing this the cheaper vehicles, they're moving that up in their priority list. That seems to be directly related to the Cybertruck failures, because I think since our last podcast, the Cybertruck had a recall issued because of a accelerator pedal that could kill people. It would like come off and actually stay down. Right before the earnings came out, we did have this story that Elon Musk apologized to laid off Tesla workers for incorrectly low severance payouts. So things are going great over there. And they announced a new Model 3 performance like right before earnings came out too. But yeah, Tesla's back in the news. Not all of it's good, not all of it's bad. And I think the stock had been beaten down so much this year that it saw a bit of a relief rally. It was at 144 a share. At the time that we're recording this podcast, is currently at 164 a share. But it's important to note it peaked over $400 a share back in 2021 before he acquired Twitter. And it's been really downhill ever since. So that's our first longie. You guys have anything you want to say about Elon?
Donovan.
He's a dweeb.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So then the next longie, also a financial story. Facebook, which they call themselves Meta now, their Q1 earnings results beat EPS, earnings per share, and revenue expectations of Wall Street. But they did kind of say some things that I think scared a lot of people. The stock is currently down. We're recording the day after they reported earnings. The stock's down like 12% on the news. So yeah, it wasn't all bad, right? Like they made money. They $36.46 billion in revenue in one quarter, and they were profitable. So it was a good start to the year. Here's some of the negatives. Facebook Reality Labs is what they call the Oculus team now. It lost $3.8 billion during the quarter, and the total losses from that division are now over $50 billion since they acquired Oculus.
Insane.
Yeah. I'd say so. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp had 3.24 billion daily active users combined in Q1. That's like half the world.
Yeah.
So that's something. They did issue Q2 revenue guidance below analyst expectations. They also increased their 2024 capital expenditure forecast to reflect increased AI spending. This is where things went sideways for them on the conference call. Donovan, you were listening to it with me. Zuck kept talking about how it's going to take years of spending before they can even get AI to the point where they can monetize it. So we're talking about billions of dollars of expenses before they even see $1 of revenue from this. That scared shareholders. And the stock really started to turn downward when he was talking about that.
Telling people you're going to bleed money for multiple years. It's definitely a way to get them excited.
Especially when you already have one division that's hemorrhaging cash, right? It's like, hey, now we have two. It's like, what? And it's only companies of this size that can get away with this because they have 36 billion coming in from their legacy business, right? Like Google can do this, Facebook can do this, Microsoft can do this, but for how long? And are they did you feel that they were confident in their ability to monetize AI, Donovan?
No.
Like, did you hear anything on that call where you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense? It's like,
Definitely
no.
not.
So that's scary, I think, for investors, because they're going to spend billions of dollars on these GPUs and these server farms and the power to run these server farms without any actual promise of what is going to happen. And I think everyone's like, oh man, look at the magic of generative AI. And it's like, I don't know. How much electricity does it take for you, Joe, to make a thumbnail?
I don't know. Not much.
Right? Well, guess what takes way more? Generative AI. We have a cluster of GPUs that can do your job shittier, and it takes more energy. And we have no idea how we're going to make money. But anyway, we're heavily investing in this. So I thought it was interesting that both we're kind of in different eras of AI for Tesla and Facebook here, where Tesla's like, we are done with our major investment for training purposes, whereas Facebook's like, we need 3 more years of spending money on server farms before we can even get close to delivering anything. So I thought that was a weird thing to say by the CEO. But yeah, I have not heard how AI will make money yet from anyone. I think Tesla might be closer than anyone because at least they're trying to solve a problem that exists. Autonomous cars, like I don't. This isn't about the merit of if full self-driving works or not, but at the very least, like that's different. That's like a useful thing. I was talking to my friend about this. Like, I don't know, Donovan, you can pull out your phone and you can film your dog and you can make a dog video and it costs you $0. Or you could use this OpenAI tech to generate a 15-second dog video and it's using thousands of GPUs and server space to do it. It's like the things that I saw someone tweet this and I completely agree with the sentiment. It's like, I don't want AI to do the things that are my creative outlet. I want AI to like wash the dishes and take out the trash.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And like right now, everyone's focused on the opposite. And I'm like, no. So I do think robotics are one of those places where computer vision and AI are going to be useful. But I don't like that Facebook is turning all of their search engines into AI chatbots. Like Instagram is now an AI chatbot, and I think they're working on turning Facebook search into something similar. So, yeah, I don't like that we're going to start using our search queries to train Facebook AI, but that's where we are. And like I said earlier, I just find it really strange that, you know, the US government is so obsessed with stopping TikTok when there's 3.2 billion people on Facebook, and that company has already been in the shit for, you know, fomenting a genocide in Myanmar and like all sorts of horrible stuff that goes on in Facebook groups. It just seems two-faced to not want to regulate this giant social media company, but putting all your targets on TikTok. But yeah, those are the Facebook numbers. It is, yeah, I just want to point out that I'm not surprised the stock is down, and I know one other guy who's not surprised the stock is down, Mark Zuckerberg. You know what he's been doing? He's been selling Facebook stock every day it's been legal for him to do it for like almost a year. So he's not surprised. Yeah, recent insider transactions. Mark Zuckerberg sold $15 million of Facebook stock between $4.85 and $4.91 a share on March 28th. The stock is currently at $4.37. He sold $22 million of shares on the 27th for between $489 and $499. He sold $15 million the day before. He sold another $23 million the day before. Another $15 million the day before. Another $300,000 the day before. Another $39 million the day before. Another $39 million the day before. Or sorry, 3 days before. Are we seeing a trend here?
Beach. Yeah, go sit on a friggin' beach.
So he dumped his stock, and then he went on the call and he gave you the reason why he dumped his stock. Basically, he's like, "Look, the next 3 years are going to be heavy on investment and not really on returns."
Wow,
it's strange. It is strange to see a CEO do that because usually they want to talk up their stock, right? It really seemed like he was talking it down yesterday, or maybe he didn't realize, you know, like maybe he didn't realize he was going to talk him down. Maybe he thought he was just being honest or something. Who knows?
That's refreshing.
I something tells me that's not what was happening, but I think they're just like, AI good, us investing in AI good, right? Like they probably thought that it would be viewed more positively than it was. Hard to say. But anyway, that was our last longie. We did it.
Wow. Nicely done.
Without the help of generative AI at all. So yeah, that's the show. We don't have any community notes, do we?
No, I should have deleted that. I'm sorry.
I think we do have them though. Hold on.
I mean, if we do, I didn't see them.
They're on YouTube. Oh, okay, here we go. Good job, Mrs. Cake Producer. Thanks for making dreams come true. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Okay. All
and
right.
you also, that was a shout out to Erica, but also you have a nickname, Joe. You're now Joey Sheet Cakes.
Oh, that is good. And that flows better than the thing I came up with last week. So
yeah, I think Joey Sheet Cakes might be your new title. And also shout out, yeah, we had the most views we've ever had on the podcast on YouTube last week. So shout out to everyone who's listening. Thank you.
Wow.
But yeah, Joey Sheet Cakes in the house.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for today's show. Donovan, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
We're now 1-1 in our rivalry.
Yeah.
In random games. that was a lot closer than the Pokemon one. If you folks want to go back and listen to the Pokemon one, Donovan destroyed everyone with that. But yeah, subscribe on your podcast app of choice and tune in every Friday for more Shack Together. Joe, is this where I'm going to just record the general promotion, or do we do it?
Yeah, let's let Donovan go, and we'll do it after.
Okay. So yeah, I guess this is where we say bye then. So,
Isn't this beautiful? It's like you don't even know what to do. Look at all this extra time we have. Thanks for coming, Donovan.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
We did it together. And yeah, Draft Day's not as bad of a movie as everyone thinks it is. But anyway.
Amen.
That's it. That's the show. I'm waving at my camera even though it's not on, and I'm saying bye, and I'll never forget you, and thank you for listening. All that. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including ShackNews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at ShackNews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle, where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required, but if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at ShackNews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feeds. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.